Yo, what's up? A couple days ago, specifically on the 1st April, there was a big uproar in the Warthunder community regarding a $5,000 item, actually a $20,000 item, as you're gonna find out soon. And this also affects the enlisted community because there's one problem with it, and there's also a big lesson for Darkflow, the people working on Enlisted, and also a big question regarding the future of Enlisted for every Enlisted player. So let's dive in. First of all, this was the Dosh Warthunder gold card that you could theoretically buy for $5,000. And once you bought 4 of these, so once you spent $20,000, you received, well, obviously nothing, because this was a joke. But there were many people who still tried to do it. And I posted screenshots trying to do it. There were some people who claimed they successfully bought, though it were likely faked screenshots, because screenshots are very easily faked. Most countries on this planet don't even accept screenshots as clear evidence for serious questions. So yeah, don't take random screenshots on the internet serious. Just look at the evidence, and the evidence is no one could prove to actually own such a thing. Now, what would you have gotten if you paid $20,000 to Gaijin for this Doge card? Well, you would get 5 million golden eagles, basically gold and enlisted. You would get lifetime premium, alright. And you will get 2 very rare and I guess strong premium items. E100 vehicle, I guess it's a tank, and I guess it's a tuple of 2 plane in gold skin, alright. Apparently galvanizing your tank with a gold layer is what makes you stronger in World War II, and you would be called Anton's Golden Boy. I guess Anton is the owner of Gaijin. And yeah, you rather not get called Golden Boy by another man. At least not where these people are from. So yeah, this is what you have gotten. And the joke is, this wasn't viewed as a April joke. It was viewed as a real item that you could buy for the April joke, but not as a fake item. Many people believed this was true. And this was completely plausible to be true. And this is exactly what's so important for us. If Enlisted tried to pull something like that, people would A, not believe it. Obviously ridiculous, there's nothing you could buy in Enlisted for 20,000. And B, they would also not believe it because they know no one would want to buy it. And C, people would feel offended or annoyed. Because, yeah, this is like a very bad joke. Also not nice towards your customers. And a joke like this has to have some true substance. Meaning it has to be partially believable. In War Thunder it was a good joke. Because it's actually believable. And it's also fun regarding the Doge department in America right now. Led by everyone's favorite African American. And yeah, which is also always fun with the memes and so on. So yeah, this was a cool, fun joke from War Thunder, and people thought, and they looked at the value you would get, and as many people saw, yeah, this is possibly viable. Some of them did calculations. Obviously, I can't verify them since I'm not playing War Thunder, but looking at the calculations, they made sense. People said the average estimated value would be something like buying stuff for $30,000. So alright, now the question is, who would pay that? Obviously normal players wouldn't buy that. Items like these are in general only worth buying for people who don't care about the money. Because if you care about losing $20,000, you obviously shouldn't buy something for $20,000. But in War Thunder has over 1 million players active, I was told. So yeah, there are definitely enough people among 1 million or multiple millions possibly who would buy something like that. First of all, everyone who's really rich and who completely doesn't care about 20,000, he could buy it. Because you know that very few people would spend 20,000 on a game. So you would be actually one of the few ones. Especially if the spec would also give you something like a serialized number or like a plate, or you could put your name or nickname in the game forever or something like that. So some people would actually buy it. Or a very smart idea would be to actually print a limited and serialized like a big card or like a poster or like a high quality hard material, and then sign it by Anton or whatever, whoever it is, and have it serialized and limited to like the first 10 buyers of this Doge card. And guess what? Companies, gaming companies especially, who survive for over 25 years and who after 25 years show that they will likely also survive for more 20 years, they become culturally relevant and people start spending a lot of money on items like these. Just look at Magic the Gathering. There are many random items that had basically no value 20 years ago or 30 years ago when they came out. They were just little trinkets, and now they cost thousands of dollars because they're just extremely rare and people view it as part of the history. Now, there's nothing rarer and more part of a history than a serialized limited collector item. So this would be like people like that would buy it. Also random Warthunder influencers. Yeah, I know the word is funny, but still, they wouldn't mind buying it because obviously they would make more money back, or at least they would make enough money back that they don't care. So yeah, like this isn't completely out of the out of reasonable spheres of thinking for War Thunder, but how does it look for Enlisted? Well, here's the problem. Everything that's true for War Thunder is exactly the opposite for Enlisted right now. This gold card would be buyable for War Thunder because War Thunder has strong consumer confidence, it has strong long-term perspectives, long-term survivability, it has a good new player retention, and it offers countless items in-game. Because actually, you could, if you wanted to buy every item in War Thunder, it would be much more than $20,000 you would have to spend. And you still wouldn't have lifetime premium account. So if you want to spend a lot of money, you could actually buy a lot of things in War Thunder, and you can play them for the next 10, 20, likely 30 years even. It's like buying stuff in Counter-Strike. Everyone buys stuff in Counter-Strike. No one minds buying $5,000 knives in Counter-Strike because everyone knows these knives will hold their value for the next 10, 20, 50 years. So this is what high consumer confidence is. In Enlisted though, there's no such thing. People, especially during the last months, where nothing good came from Enlisted. On the contrary, only bad stuff came. People lost their consumer confidence or trust in the game and its long-term prospects very, very sharply. So yeah, like this is the big lesson for Enlisted. Enlisted needs to significantly improve its long-term stability and the way players and possible new players, new customers view the game. Simply said, the game needs a 180-degree turn on multiple core aspects. Because if you look at how 2025 started, it started with 2 months of nothing, then with 1 month of waiting and delays, and then a very badly designed April event. So, and multiple stupid decisions. Because if you go through posts people make about Enlisted in Reddit and forum, among the few actually substantial posts that actually try to talk about things and exchange information to enlighten everyone, most posts complained that they see the same mistakes constantly repeated. For example, when this event was released, basically everyone was calling it a shit event, like 90% disapproval, whatever. All right, then 1 or 2 days later, Darkflow said, "Oh no, everything's fine. Look at us, we listened to you, and we improved it. Here, be happy now, shut up, and play the event." Okay. And then, of course, all of the weak-minded soy boys started soy mouthing and being super happy with their arms up in the sky and and say, oh yeah, the world is saved. But here's the problem. The few reasonable people posted, and of course got downvoted by all of the NPCs in the enlisted social media, that, wait, exactly the same thing happened last Halloween on the Halloween event. And basically the same thing happened 1 year ago on the first Steam release. And I wouldn't be surprised if similar things happened before that, but I literally don't care about memorizing all the enlisted slop data. So yeah, within the last 12 months, you have at least 3 instances of Darkflow fucking up hard, and then saying, oh no, okay, backpedaling a bit and say everything's fine, we understand now. But the same bullshit is repeated later again. Now, look, you can do this 1 or 2 times, but not constantly. After a while, literally people don't trust you. And this is the problem. Old players don't trust the long-term stability of the game because they see how stuff is constantly fucked up. They see how stuff is constantly fucked up. And people, even if they play your game and pay a little bit, they won't pay more, they won't pay nice amounts of money if they don't trust you, if they know that the relationship is on a basis that you have to expect fuck-ups constantly. Like, would you go to a doctor if you need constant surgeries that almost kills you every second operation? Well, there are like athletes who have severe injuries and then they need like 10 operations within 12 months. And yeah, you wouldn't go to one like that, obviously. But this is exactly the case. Also, to finish this video quickly now, the main problems for Enlisted are, it's not just bad, like older players who've seen a lot. It's not like they have a bad view and low confidence, but new players have an even worse impression because a new player does not know the good fun parts about playing Enlisted. Because if you actually have a lot of stuff Enlisted, if you grind it already, the game is actually quite comfy to play. But for new players, it's horrible because it took around 1 year until the finances, until the economy of the game got improved, alright? Before that, it was basically 12 lost months of a shitty anti-new player economy. So, okay, so this is already like tens of thousands of players possibly who would have played the game lost. Then, the first impressions of the game are just very bad for new players. The absence of basic features like map picking, like better balance protection, like, well, like bugs not being there because there are too many bugs in the game. Like, things like these are just completely going against what people expect in 2025. People expect a game where very low quality bugs, like not being able to mount stuff properly, or the charge bug, which is completely retarded, or artillery that's still not color coded. You never know which team called artillery. You don't even know whether you can call artillery yourself, because since the moment that multiple types of artillery got introduced a few months ago, you constantly get notified you can call artillery, but you don't know which. But you most of the time you will want to call the real artillery, but you still get notified that you can call artillery due to the ammo drops. And obviously this doesn't help you because this gives you noise signals constantly, but it doesn't give you the actual information signal about being able to call proper artillery. Stupid, low-quality beginner mistakes like these are really annoying for new players. Extremely annoying. And of course, things like if they get gray zone camped in their own gray zone, or if a gray zone enemy tank in his gray zone is shelling you as a new player, is also a problem. Now, there are some intelligent ways to mitigate this, but they're not taken. Also, many items in the tech trees are just misplaced regarding BRs, making many interesting things completely unplayable. And once again, if you look at a World War II game, many people play them for their iconic weapons. The MP40 obviously needs to be in BR2 to be very available for many players, alright, to be early available. Now the Garand being in BR3 is already a bit problematic because it takes a while for new players to get it, whereas other games give it to you instantly. So this is a problem. And if the new player thinks, oh, I have to grind how much? 20 hours? No, fuck this game, I won't. Yeah, and then you lost a new player. So now there are intelligent ways to solve this problem, which are not being taken. Yeah, also things like iconic weapons like well, it's obviously reasonable that something like a tiger and king tiger takes to grind, but something like the stacks who were available early war, especially the short barreled versions, them being basically unplayable in the game, you basically never see them. Yeah, you see like one of the most iconic tank in World War II, literally not playable. Even if you want to buy it as a premium because it just misplaced with the BR. Like this completely stupid, not well, not a way how to hold new players and how to excite them. Because it's not the stable stuff that excites new players, it's the flashy stuff. And if you can't get the flashy stuff, or the flashy stuff doesn't work, or it's behind 20 hours or more grind, then no, it doesn't work. Another thing that new players see, also I got some people wrote me about it, is that the horrible state of enlisted social media, like completely toxic. The forum is, well, barely, like the forum barely has any. The forum is better moderated than Reddit because Reddit is basically not moderated at all when it comes to actually doing proper work. But the forum obviously has many like much fewer activity. So new players usually are active in Reddit. Now, problem in Reddit is, look at Reddit on a given day. When you see new player posting questions or new players thinking something, saying, "Oh, this tank is it better than the other?" The new players instantly get downvoted by a bunch of mentally ill retards who are just propagating toxicity. And you see, these people literally don't have any lives. Like their accounts on Reddit 24/7 online, posting retardation non-stop, and not understanding that if you are, first of all, everyone thinks you're retarded, and B, you're being so toxic that you're repelling new players. And new players think, what the fuck is this? I just come in this community, and I ask a question, and I instantly get called a noob, and people say, "Oh, you don't understand the game." Like, of course, a new player doesn't understand the game. That's why he's asking questions. So it's completely ridiculous. It's completely ridiculous. And instead of players getting help, they get spammed with negative insults and toxic comments and harassment. It's just ridiculous. And of course, a new player sees that, wait, this is Reddit. This is, at least in theory, supposed to be moderated. Then why the fuck is this Reddit so toxic? Because everyone knows there are good Reddits, subreddits, and there are bad subreddits. The good ones are the ones with normal humans, with healthy, mentally healthy humans, where there's quality, where the moderators ensure that stuff doesn't get toxic. And that is the bad ones, with shitty moderators, with shitty members, where everything is toxic, and it's just the echo chamber for idiots on the internet. And yeah, this is a big problem because new players, they go on YouTube to watch videos, yeah. They may go on TikTok to watch random TikToks, but in order to ask questions and so on, they mostly go on Reddit. So YouTube and Reddit are the two most important media for interaction and keeping new players engaged and playing the game. But the way it's going on in Enlisted right now, it's literally, Reddit you can forget. It has a detrimental effect on new players. And YouTube, YouTube isn't that interactive. So this is the problem. Enlisted can't fucking hold new players because most decisions are being made in such a bad way that they actively push new players away. And this has to stop. The game needs player-based growth, absolutely, desperately actually, because you can see that whenever there's nothing new exciting coming out, whenever there's no hype news or whenever there's no big update, the spoilers, the player-based activity goes back hard. It goes back very hard. I can also see it in my views. Everyone else who has a couple thousand sample size available also sees it, that the player base highly fluctuates with the release of new stuff. Now, Other games don't have this problem. If you have a high enough player base, you don't mind 10-20% fluctuation because you still have tens of thousands or 100,000 players. Enlisted though can't afford it. Enlisted can't afford this because you already have not enough players to implement even proper matchmaking where every BR plays against itself. So this is something that finally needs to be solved. And here's the thing, whoever made the stupid decisions and constantly keeps repeating the stupid decisions regarding balance of weapons, balance of items in the tech tree, and especially regarding how events should be, like, just find a new person. Like, send this person to fucking Gaijin to work on Warthunder and just get a new person who actually is capable. Because this is extremely harmful to the game. Like, the thing is, if employees fuck up, it can be okay if the employee learns his lesson and improves. Because an employee who already fucked up and learned is better than an employee who's new and never fucked up. Because this employee, you don't know how he handles stressful situations. You don't know how effective he is at learning from mistakes. But the other employee already proved already nice, good, he can learn from mistakes, and he's going to be quickly a highly experienced, competent person. But this is not the case what we're witnessing here, because we witness continuous retardation. We witness continuous repetition of this, even not new mistakes, but the same fucking mistakes. This is what's so brain rotting in the whole situation. Now, the last point here for us is the roadmap, meaning the list of points that a company wants to implement within the next 12 months. Enlisted releases one every year, but only fulfills around 70% on average, I would say. Last year, though, we barely got 50%. And you can already see how people are wondering what's the roadmap for this year, because there wasn't even one released. Now, here's my big recommendation. The schedule for Enlisted for this year is already irreparably destroyed. Like, it's impossible for Darkflow to even remotely keep the normal yearly schedule of 4 big releases, 4 big updates. It's impossible because the March update is already 1 month too late. And with the current event still going, I think, for over 1 week, you can, if you're lucky, expect the next big update coming out second half of this month. So, yeah, and even if this happens, with the slow pace of Darkflow working this year, it's mathematically impossible to have 4 releases. So, my recommendation is forget the 4 release schedule and just focus on 3 high quality releases. High quality releases means better than normal releases. Not just 1% better, but like 10-20% better. With more content and especially with better high quality stuff. And since one release less, one big release less means one map less, to compensate for that, you can actually, since you have more time too, you can actually pay a little bit more for the map designer. I think map design is outsourced. It's not done by Darkflow itself. Just pay a few Dogecoins more to the map designers and let more maps be created. I know this can be problematic if only one person is doing the work, because you can't just find a second person who's doing the same thing if he doesn't know the game well. But still, there are people working on Warthunder, and also you might, if Warthunder actually gets an infantry mode, as some people suspect, then it will have multiple people working on proper maps. And then guess what? Then you already can use some of these people. Or just simply to train the people building Warthunder maps to get experience on how to properly build infantry player maps. So yeah, just instead of having 4 big updates, just release 3 big updates and 2 maps in addition. For the campaigns that are highly underutilized, meaning Burma would absolutely need a map, it only has 1 map so far, and Stalingrad that didn't release any new maps since forever. And everyone wants a new good Stalingrad map, so this would be highly welcome. And of course, rebalancing of Stalingrad BR and stuff like that, because there's still too much nonsense going on. Stalingrad is way too overrepresented. whereas the great low BR maps are limited to low BR only and nothing else. So yeah, something like this, reworking with some intelligence, hopefully, not as we're used to, would benefit the game significantly. Also, the discussion regarding War Thunder getting infantry mode. Here's my personal view. It would be economically and regarding long-term planning absolutely a good idea to do this in a way that War Thunder gets an infantry sub-mode, meaning you can decide whether you play normal War Thunder or you play the infantry mode, which will basically be enlisted, but better, meaning all of the bullshit that we currently see in enlisted improved and removed. And of course, everything that you buy is applicable in both games. And this is the big win for the player base. If you bought something in one game, you automatically have it in the other game. Now, this is a win-win for all sides, because if you want to decide whether you buy something or not, let's say you want to decide, am I going to buy premium, yes or no? The decision is much easier if you know that you have premium for both games active. And guess what? Players will also try out the other game too. If they're like, every War Thunder player might be interested in trying out Enlisted because he knows, oh, all of my tanks are already there. All of my premium time is already there, so they will try it out. Same thing goes for Enlisted players trying out War Thunder. I don't have the time and I'm too lazy to even download War Thunder. But I know that if the War Thunder infantry mode starts within the War Thunder main menu, so you're already, it's like obviously if the games get combined, you keep your main War Thunder menu and then you just click, do you play this mode, War Thunder Classic or War Thunder Infantry, whatever. Now if it's already there, of course people would click on the other thing if they feel interested. So it's a big win-win for all sides. Now since we know Gaijin, and they might get a bit butthurt about some very rare items that are rare in War Thunder and very expensive being in the hands of enlisted players. I was told the T-34-100 is allegedly rare and expensive in War Thunder. Now, let's put it this way. Yeah, the player base of enlisted is so ridiculously small, so insanely small, it literally wouldn't matter. It literally wouldn't matter. Gaijin wouldn't lose money, on the contrary. Also, guess what? Since War Thunder has a free market system where you can buy and sell your items, this would be also a big plus for everyone, because then many cool, rare old items would be flexible, which would also give all of the things you buy more longevity and more value. This is one of the biggest problems enlisted right now. Everything you buy either has, limited value because it's limited to your account, and it also has, depreciation because you don't know how long enlisted is going to be active as a game and when the servers will be shut off. But if it's part of War Thunder, you know the game theoretically will last forever, because War Thunder is meant to be a game like Counter-Strike that lasts forever, and also War Thunder is good enough to last forever and doesn't really have competitors. And even if it had, it still has significant USPs. The vehicle models are perfect compared to anything else in the world existing. So, yeah, I see it as a big plus. Now, of course, the question is, how do you see it and what you think? Now, if you heard something interesting here, of course, like. And if you're new, subscribe to get more stuff. I'm happy I can stop talking about this whole fucking April bullshit. Because it was literally just brain rot inducing. And I'm happy to return to more interesting enlisted stuff in the next videos. And I have a feeling next week we're gonna get hopefully some news drops and spoilers about the upcoming update, because it's literally been forever since we got anything about it. Also, my new computer should arrive soon so I can start doing live streams. Also playing together with you in the live streams once I unboomered myself and learned how to do it. So, until then, until very soon, and goodbye.